Indeed, with Alex Lenderman, who stays right there at the top of the leaderboard thanks to this draw. Alex, I got to tell you, I was the only one in the studio who had confidence in you that you were going to pull it off, coming from Brooklyn, and your fine play. Congratulations on that. But I will say, you did have me scared, and I imagine you were scared too.
Oh yeah, definitely the game didn't go according to plan. I thought the move Queen C7 in the early in the opening might be a surprise to him. It's not the most common move. The most common move there is Knight H6, and there's some other moves, but Queen C7 I think is very interesting. I worked a lot on that line, and the main line actually after Queen C7 is C3, but Dariush pretty quickly played D3 and C3, which I believe is actually the most difficult line for Black, and it was a bit disappointing to me that he knew the line, and he played it so quickly. And yeah, I knew that this endgame might be a bit difficult for Black. I think this is kind of the best White can get in this line. I thought, came to the conclusion that it's kind of holdable, but actually I think there is one new, I'm not sure if E5 was in my prep, because the thing is, I think I remember a position that maybe it's Queen takes B6 first, and then E5, and then I think I'm going Knight E8. And I think I vaguely remembered something like that. And then, of course, there's also Queen takes, yeah, something like that. And then there's also Bishop E3 instead, or Bishop F4. But I think E5 right away, maybe I didn't analyze. Because the thing is, now I can't play Knight E8 because of Queen H4, right? So I have to take on D4, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Queen H4, I think it should be bad.
Bishop H6 and Knight G5.
Right, so I'm pretty sure I have to take on D4. But then after he took on D4, I realized, wait a second. I remember that in the other line, he's taking on B6 and I have different pawn structures. So I realized probably I'm not playing Knight E8 here. And then, of course, I had a deep think because I have to compare Rook E8 or Knight G4 and maybe even some Knight D5 position. Yeah, and I guess I misplayed it slightly. And maybe I didn't go for the right idea. And yeah, and ended up having to suffer. And I thought somehow I'll still get good drawing chances. But then it became quite difficult. And I think in a lot of lines, I was surviving by tempo. So yeah, I mean, obviously this didn't go according to plan, but all things considered, obviously at this point, I'm very happy with to survive this with a draw.
Right, this endgame looked horrible for you, and as you said, you managed to survive. In the end, he gave you this endgame that we all have to study, the rook cutting off the king by 3 files, the A pawn going down. You went into a deep think. We saw you calculating before you played H5. Tell us about your thoughts at that moment.
Well, I wanted to make sure I'm not going into a losing line, right? I had a lot of time, that's the thing, so there was no point of rushing. That was the last critical moment, right? So, like, I can't use my time for the next game. So, given the fact that it was probably the last critical moment of the game, it made sense to try to really make sure and not miss a detail, right? Because in a lot of lines, I was actually making it by a tempo. I was making a draw in that line, right? So I wanted to make sure I didn't like skip a move for him or something like that, or for myself, right? So I just was double checking my calculation. But I'm pretty sure I have to play this H5 idea anyways. So yeah, it's.
If I can ask you, Alex, just your instinct in this exact position after you played H7, H6. Did you think you were drawing or losing? Like just.
Honestly speaking, I never thought I was like losing, but I didn't want to believe that. I think in this particular position, I thought I was drawing, and because I saw a lot of lines where he gets the king to B5, but then I thought I have always, when I'm taking on F3, he takes on A4. I have ideas like Rook F4, trying to exchange into an endgame, pawn endgame, or even H5, and then I get counterplay. And I was fairly certain that I'm drawing there, but yeah, of course it's quite. And then, of course, he was thinking for a long time here, trying to find something. I mean, I looked at F4 for him as well, but...
Yes, this was our main move, and this was the line we thought his chances...
Yeah, here's the thing, though, about F4. So it's actually very important that I don't automatically exchange the other pawn, right? Because otherwise, I'm going to be stuck with that A4 pawn. That's...
Right.
Normally, I'm happy, down in the pawn to exchange... the pawns, right, in the endgame. But in this particular structure with that pawn on A4 so misplaced, my only chance is getting counterplay because of the G4 pawns. So I think here I was going to play something like King F6 and wait. and I didn't see for sure how. Yeah, King G5. I mean, yeah, Rook G2. Yeah, Rook takes B2. Like that. Okay. Like this. Yeah.
This is faster by a tempo for sure. It
So
depends
this-
on A4.
So what's happening? Is he actually winning here?
No, which is the most amazing thing of all.
Here was a tempo that you did lose by.
But there was like it wasn't the still the Rook A2. Rook
No,
A3?
this is the line where we got to King B6 and A7.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually
before
that
the king could get
right,
over.
and actually that position, if he gets King B6 and A7 in that endgame, I think that might be losing, right? Or
Yeah,
maybe
that's losing.
That's losing. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I was thinking a long time, right? Because at first I thought, yeah, he's getting that in, but then I realized he's not, right? It was like tempo, right? I can't. That's a position I just can't miscalculate.
Right.
Otherwise, I lose, right? So, but the thing is, I didn't really see what else I can do anyway. So I kind of had to play this way.
Exactly.
Fortunately, he brought his rook back to the B for the B3 square, and that pulled you by a tempo and gave you the forced line.
Yeah,
here.
no, this is a lucky break. You know, just the fact that the lines kind of survive. I'm surviving by a tempo.
I
This is,
apologize.
you know, normally in order to get into the top 3 or especially win the tournament like that, you need some lucky breaks at some points. So the fact
Right.
that, you know, I was able to win that end game against Sam, you know, at the end it was like 50-50 if I'm going to win it. And then to survive this one, I mean, I feel like in terms of end games, I feel like luck has gone my way, and now hopefully I'll be able to play better next few rounds.
Got a rest day to think about it. 3 rounds to go. Who do
I
you-
definitely need that rest day after these last 4 games, and especially this long suffering game.
Who do you play to close out the tournament?
Yeah, so I'm playing double white against Sam Shankland, and then I'm playing against Fabi, and then I'm playing in the last round against Lazaro Brazon. So yeah, it's
Interesting
not easy,
path.
but you know, we'll see. I like the fact that I have 2 whites, so
Good luck the rest of the way.
thank
Get
you.
your
so much.
rest.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Alex. Congratulations. And the sprint to the finish, we'll be watching you closely.